Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today's video is very long overdue. Today we are reviewing some minority-owned activewear brands. Honestly, there is an overwhelming amount of activewear brands to choose from recently, and there's a lot of really great stuff out there by so many different owners. So as a consumer, you really have the power to choose where your money goes and which people you want to support. And I don't really see a lot of people talking about these minority-owned activewear brands, so I feel like since I do have this platform, why not we highlight a couple brands today? Some small businesses, we have Black-owned, we have Latina-owned, women-owned. And while I feel like activewear companies, specifically Instagram activewear companies, have done a lot better about being more inclusive with the models on their website and on their social media in general, I feel like things have definitely gotten a lot better. Minorities are still definitely underrepresented in the activewear world. So I did a lot of research for this video and I honestly found so many minority-owned brands, so I'm going to list a couple in the description of the video that I didn't get to try today. And please comment down below any that I didn't review that I should maybe check out in the future. I'm always looking for more ideas. So without further ado, let's start talking about the first brand. The first brand we're talking about today is Eloose Label. I believe it's supposed to be like Illusion. And the founder is this amazing woman that I actually came across on social media as well. She's actually a fitness influencer herself, so I feel like that's why she did a really good job with these pieces, because she works out and she knows how they gotta be. So I actually asked them to tell me a little bit about the brand just so I could properly capture what they were going for. So I'm just gonna read off a little bit. I think that's just the easiest way to do it. Our founder is Dariana Nova, and her purpose for starting this brand was to make quality items that represent real women and make them feel confident. She started out as a fitness influencer and constantly reached out to many companies to partner with them, but was never considered to be a part of them. It was then that she noticed a trend in the early stages of her career that large companies making fitness apparel did not include less athletic, plus size women, minorities in their campaigns or websites, so she decided to found Eloose. So the brand started in April of 2020, so essentially only 1 year ago at this point. So it's still very new, but they're already expanding their sizing up to 3XL, so I really think they're delivering on that promise of being inclusive to all body types. And they're still a very, very small business, but honestly, I've already tried a lot of this stuff and wore it to the gym, and I just really feel like they did a great job of the quality. So let's start reviewing some pieces. The price range is about like 35 to 40 for sports bras and like 50 for leggings, which I would consider mid-price range, especially compared to other fitness brands on Instagram that are selling leggings closer to like $60 to $70. Even a lot of Gymshark leggings are over 60. So I think the prices are pretty reasonable. This is the Confidence 0.5 jacket. It might be called the half jacket. I don't know, but it's kind of this like mid-length cropped jacket. This is $45. This might be my favorite piece. Also, I just want to say they have the safety pins that attach their tags so that you don't damage the item. And that's just the kind of little details that your girl likes. So it's made of this super soft, stretchy, brushed material, the same as the other things in the Confidence collection that I'll talk about today, but it has a full zip, little pockets down the side, super stretchy, and it just hits right to the top of your legging waistband. And you can kind of wear the whole outfit together with this matching jacket, which I think just looks super cool all together, or they also have solid colors. So let's try this on. So this is their Confidence half zip jacket. My only thing is that I do feel like it runs like a hair small because it is like snug for me to tie up. So I would recommend sizing up in the jacket, but it's a great length. Oftentimes with cropped jackets, like you might show like a little bit of skin, but I just feel like these go right to the top of your legging waistband. And as you can see, like this is what I mean by being a little bit small. It's like super snug for me here, which it's great if you want it to be skin tight. I just would have liked a teeny bit more room. And I also think that this just looks really cool as like this whole colored outfit together, but they also have like a bunch of colors for you to like mix and match with the tops. Here it is, zipped all the way up. It has full length sleeves. It's made of the same material as the leggings, so it's like super, super soft and very stretchy. I forgot to mention that about the leggings, but they're also not restrictive at all. They also have really nice thumb holes, and they're like lined all the way around the thumb, so they're gonna be very comfortable. It has a little mock neck situation up here, and we all know I love details, and I really like how the zipper color matched, and like the logoing on the zipper is just very clean looking. High quality looking jacket for like a mid price point, which I'm a fan of. And at first I was like, okay, but like where are the pockets? And they actually do have pockets. They're like all the way up here. They kind of go from like side boob to down here. And even though they're not zippered pockets, they actually are very secure because they enter from the top, and like my whole phone fits in there. Definitely still have spacious pockets. I would feel comfortable putting my keys in here even if they don't zip. The back is pretty plain, nothing crazy, but I think I definitely prefer the half zip to the full zip. Super cute. Next, we have the Confidence leggings in this beautiful kind of like terracotta color, which I love, a nice rusty orange. I think that it's so beautiful on so many skin tones. It's a no front seam legging with a single pocket, which I felt like was a unique design. And I also just want to talk about their logos because you can learn so much about the quality of a brand literally by just looking at their logos. And the logo completely matches the color of the leggings. It's super subtle, but it's actually like one of those raised kind of silicone logos, and it just makes it look more luxurious. So I love that. It's made of a soft brushed fabric. I did put these on my couch, which my cats sit on, so there is a little bit of cat fur on them, so don't be surprised if it attracts a little bit of lint and fur. But here's a close-up of the fabric. It's definitely soft and brushed, but it's not too fuzzy and super stretchy. So let's try it on. Here they are. I love the material of these. It's kind of like a very finely brushed fabric that isn't super fuzzy, but it's still gonna hold up to your workouts. I did obviously some leg exercises in this and I was totally fine. These have a nice high rise. I was concerned at first because this part does not have a top band, but the back part actually does have a little top band. But because it's all the way in the back and not like on the sides too, it doesn't cut into you. So I wouldn't worry about the top seam. It's just in the back. The waistband comes down in the front to give a little extra lower tummy control. I love that. No front seam, and the crotch gusset is also like super small, so you're not gonna see that on the front. The glute seams are slightly curved in the back too, and this fabric really does not squish the glutes down. So I would say it's really flattering. Overall, solid medium, maybe medium to high compression. I really like how they feel, and you probably have some cellulite coverage as well, just because the fabric does have a little thickness. Just compression helps with that. And these have like kind of a unique little design in the front. They have this little seam detail and just a single pocket, which you don't see a lot of pockets like this on activewear, but I feel like they made it like not super noticeable. Actually, it's kind of like a comfortable shape here, and it fits my whole phone. I don't really need pockets too much during my workouts, but it's nice to have at least one, so I liked that. And 7/8 length. I'm actually a huge fan of these leggings. They fit me really well. I would definitely say these are true to size. This is my normal size small, and I don't have any extra fabric or any squishing anywhere. So I didn't actually look at their size chart. This is just kind of my normal size. But yeah, I think next I'm gonna try these in the biker short form because I like how these are fitting me. To go with that, I have the Dare bra, which I know what you're thinking, one shoulder, but it's actually intentionally one shoulder. If you follow me on Instagram, I've ranted about this probably a couple times, but I hate when people like pull one strap over to the other side. I'm like, that's just a recipe for your neck to be in pain. This is an intentional one shoulder sports bra that actually fits larger cup sizes. I was super impressed. Made of the same material as the leggings, and it's just a very soft, comfy bra. So let's try it on. All right, so I feel like tops like this are really hard to get right, and I think that she did a really good job. So first of all, I've already worn this during a workout, and I was not worried about losing little right boob over here. Like, she was fine. She stayed in. It covers completely on the top, like I'm not spilling out, and you guys know I've tried a couple other one shoulder bras on this channel before, and they don't usually go very well. So this one surprised me. I love the little cutout because if this was full, it would just be a lot of coverage on this side and not much on this side. So I like the little cutout. There's a teeny bit of cleavage with the cutout, but not gonna lose anything. It's also a full long line bra. So the pads go until right here, perfect spot, like enough room for me. Then it extends several inches down. So overall, I'm actually not showing a ton of skin in this set together. So if you like wearing a sports bra that doesn't really show a ton of skin, I think this is a nice option. And since I worked down in this, it actually really doesn't cut in to my neck that much at all. Like, I wasn't uncomfortable. The fabric is super soft, so I wasn't like too surprised, but it really doesn't hurt your neck, and it's just a very comfortable one shoulder bra. So I think this is a really cute style. It's hard to get right. I've tried a few like this, and I think they did a really nice job. It's also pretty sweat friendly, super soft, and I've already worn and washed it, and it's not getting fuzzy or at risk of pilling. So the Confidence bra, made in the same fabric. This is a really nice blue color. Let's try this on. All right, so here is the Confidence bra, and this is another long line bra. And I think their bras so far are doing a great job of having plenty of coverage. And this is a square neck bra, and I just think a square neckline can, I don't know, change things up and be super cute, but definitely not gonna fall out of this one. And it's actually solid medium support. I still feel pretty covered. The only reason why I'm not gonna give medium to high is that there is a little bit of cleavage, just like not like a full coverage bra. It does completely cover the side boob area. Cup pads are not super visible. It extends down in pretty decent ways, and crisscrosses in the back. This one's also super comfortable because the material is so soft. I just thought the square neckline was cute, so. So they also have this marl material. This is the Allure Heather crop. And I really wanted to love this little set. While I love the material, it's actually a really nice, soft, stretchy, very like form-fitting material. The fit of these items just wasn't quite there for me. So I definitely prefer the Confidence collection. Here's just a little close-up of the fabric. It is super soft and super stretchy, and I like the fabric itself. And also it does have a built-in bra with cup pads underneath, but we'll get into the try-on. Okay, so this crop isn't really working for me, and I'm having some issues with it that I don't normally have in sports bras and crop tops. I just wanted to mention it does have a full like bra inside, so you don't have to wear a bra or anything underneath it. And this layer is like, you know, goes independently over the top. The material is super soft. I love a nice marled fabric, except the straps are like really, really small, but it's like cutting very tightly into my neck to the point where like if I wore this for more than 10 minutes, it would get very uncomfortable. Overall, the design is cute. Just some straps that go into the back, little spaghetti strap style in the front. The straps are too tight on me, and because they're so tight, I can't get the bottom band of the bra to sit like below my actual boobs. So it needed to be a little bit lower. Maybe that could have been fixed with a size up. I just was a small with the other bras. If you're considering this one, I would size up, but if you are someone who needs long straps, usually these aren't adjustable, so there's not really much I can do about it. And then the Allure Heather 7/8 leggings, same fabric as before. No front seam, but there is a back seam and very subtle logo. It's even harder to notice because of the marl material. The only thing is this seam at the bottom of the calf. So we'll get into that in the try on. And these leggings. So I was intrigued by the material because I kind of thought they would be maybe like Alo Yoga Space Dye, Petula Bear. They're a little bit thicker than that. I still think they have a nice naked feel, super stretchy. They just are a little bit thicker and warmer, which is totally fine. Nice high rise. This one has a seamless waistband all the way around, little double seam down the side, no front seam, which is also kind of hard to find with this marled material. And because they don't really squish anything down too much, they are kind of a naked feel, maybe like light to medium compression. Pretty flattering on the booty as well. I really can't wear these because this seam right here is just really tight on my calves. Like you can see it cutting in, and it just is very uncomfortable over time and not something that I can wear long term. So if you don't have big calves, this won't be an issue for you. But for me, I can't wear this just because I do have large calves and it's just gonna cut in and be uncomfortable over time. So I almost really love these, but unfortunately that issue is just something I can't really overcome with me and my giant calves. So the next brand is 413 Apparel. So this brand is a faith-based lifestyle and fitness apparel brand. The founder is Ricky Jasper II. He started 413 as a health and fitness company, but kind of transitioned into activewear. And I've been seeing the brand around Instagram for honestly a couple years now. So I figured it was about time that I try it. So I just have a couple pieces from them. I wanted to start off with these little shorts though, because these are my favorite things. So these are the Acceleration Performance shorts. These are the Acceleration Performance shorts, and I love how bold and bright colored they are. They're kind of like your classic athletic style short, except instead of being kind of like a windbreakery material that the typical like Nike shorts made like this are, it's actually like this incredibly stretchy, almost like swimsuit material, which sounds really weird, but it's really comfy in like a very soft and functional way. All right, sorry, I kind of tucked the shirt to keep it out of the way, but here are the shorts, and they're so stretchy, and they honestly feel like such a summery short because they actually kind of feel like swimsuit material, which I would actually say is a pro because it's just gonna be super sweat friendly. These are small, they fit perfectly in the waist. They're also a nice high rise, which sometimes it's hard to find these kind of athletic looser style shorts with a nice high rise, but even without me tying the drawstring, this elastic type waistband is keeping me really secure, and it's just a very nice, I don't know, little compressive piece here. They do have full pockets, go throughout the front. I'd say they're pretty well hidden. While they're definitely a shorter short overall, I like when the style of shorts has like a solid like piping at the edge, because I just kind of feel like it keeps everything from you know, kind of staying where it needs to be. I'm not sure how many of these they have in stock at this point, but this is definitely my favorite thing from them. And it does have a little drawstring here. And I like that even the little part where the drawstring comes out of matches perfectly. You know, I love little details. Next is the Flow Fit Tank, which is kind of like a classic high neck, almost drop shouldered tank top that kind of has a flowy shape. This is the kind of top that I live in the summer because it's not too tight on your skin and it's very breathable. But I really loved the material they made this out of. It's soft, stretchy, and in like kind of like a matte way. So I don't know, I was just a fan of it. Let's try it on. All right, so here's the tank, and I think this was like one of the first things they came out with was tanks, but I love how this one feels. The material is like this kind of like matte, almost like dusty black. It's not like the blackest of the black, but I think it's really cute. It is a high neck, kind of like scooped arm, which is always a nice flattering line for the shoulders because we love shoulders here. And kind of racer style back situation. Also has kind of a little detail at the side to kind of keep it nice and open, but definitely very lightweight. I love the material. It's soft while still being stretchy, like definitely a stretch to it, and it's just a great basic top. I also got the Illusion crop in the electric blue color to match the shorts, and it's like almost a tie-dye, but also kind of like a paint splattery way. And I just love the color combo they went with. It's super bright. I hope it's showing up on camera, but just like a beautiful color. This one is a form-fitted cropped tank. It has the logo in the back here. My only thing with this one is the stitching. I feel like usually on tanks like this, I see kind of like a folded over like extra layer of like piping kind of like around the shoulders, just like at all the seam areas. I feel like on this one, the edges are just like a little bit thin. You can kind of see the stitch detailing. So I would have liked if it was just like one extra little thickness, but I love the color, so let's try it on. So here's the crop. It matches the shorts. It's just like a single layered crop tank. Doesn't have any built-in bra in it. I probably should have worn a different bra under this because it is showing a little bit. Kind of similar in shape to like the Buff Bunny like Aurora crop. Great for summer because they're still covering you up a little bit more, but still very lightweight. My only thing with this one is I can't tell if this is like a blue stitching or what, but in some of the stitching areas, I just feel like it needed to be like a little bit more refined. I think maybe just because it's like multicolored, but you can see it on the bottom too. There's just like a little bit where you can see the stitching. It's very minor, but I do get into the details, so just mentioning that. But yeah, it's a cute top, little summery outfit. And lastly, the oversized cropped crew neck. This gave me like sweatshirt vibes, except it's more of a lightweight, almost like long sleeve material, but the fit is definitely looser like a sweatshirt, and it's just a raw edge cut. But this one, I would have loved it if it was in the same material as the tank top, because this material just doesn't have any stretch to it. It's like a little bit rough. It's like not the softest. And because it was so stiff, it was honestly even hard to get it like over my head. It just didn't have a lot of give to it. So I like the shape of this one. I just would have preferred either a slightly like a softer sweatshirt material or something slightly more stretchy, but it almost is more of a shirt because it's very thin, so it's not gonna be like super hot. But yeah, it just wasn't my favorite material. It's just a raw cut edge all the way around, so there's no seam at the bottom, which I'm totally fine with the raw cut edge. Sometimes I can like the look, but yeah. And the sleeves are a full length, even on me, with pretty long arms. And while I was doing my research, kind of searching for all of these brands, this one really stuck out to me because I loved their bold patterning. The brand is Melt Fit, and they're Detroit based. They're size inclusive. They have size small to 3XL. And if you take a look on their website, they just have a ton of really bold prints and patterns and just some unique stuff going on. So I just wanted to try them out. So this is the Geometric Sports Bra. It's $40. And I will say, because this is a print, it is going to be colored on one side and it is lined with white. Probably better seen on the leggings, but when you stretch it out, it really doesn't go too white though. Sometimes prints, when you stretch it out just a little bit, it goes completely white. And I feel like they did a really good job on this one to not go white very much. So that's also going to be making it more opaque in general. The sports bra is a very classic shape, just kind of a tank in the front and very scooped and open straps in the back. Thick a lot elastic at the bottom here that's going to provide a decent amount of support, and they just have their logo in the back, which is just this big M, which I actually felt like kind of goes with the angulations of the patterns too. So let's try it on. All right, so here is the sports bra. I would definitely say true to size for this one, and it has a super thick elastic at the bottom, which just makes me feel very like secured. And overall support wise, the cup pads are also pretty thick, which not in like a enhanced padding way, but just like kind of like there for support, getting a solid medium support. So I'd say pretty good for the sports bra. The print is really fun. I loved this like reddish orange type print with a hint of blue. The straps are definitely a wider strap. I almost feel like they should have just gone up because they really just want to be out, and that just leads me to think they may fall down eventually. They are snug on me, so I don't know if they will. I think the design they were going for was just to have like a very scooped open back, and you have to have the straps pretty far out to do that. So overall, I'd say it's comfortable, true to size, should be pretty sweat friendly as well because it's a sleek performance material. Yeah, I think it's a fun print. I also got the geometric leggings. These are $60, and on the website it did say to size down if you prefer more compression. So I didn't really have the option of sizing down because I'm already a size small, and they didn't offer a size extra small. So I think having that size extra small would definitely be helpful because I'm certainly not the smallest person to wear leggings, but I think they at least do a great job of catering to curvier women with having size up to 3XL, which is honestly huge for a small brand. I thought this pattern was really beautiful, and you have a double thickness waistband here. You also have the white lining on the inside, but again, it really doesn't show through too much. So the waistband provides some compression. It does have a seam at the top, which because these leggings are such a sleek performance material, the seam can kind of help them sit up, but generally I prefer leggings that don't have the seam at the top because they don't have a chance of cutting into you. They also have a front seam. They have an extended crotch gusset, and these were about a 7/8 length on me, and they just have one simple pocket on the side. Let's try this on. All right, so here are the leggings. This is their smallest size, which is a small, and it's a little bit big on me. Like this is probably what I would expect out of like a normal medium. So I would love to see them maybe extend one size smaller, but for me, it's just a teeny bit big. These definitely aren't a high-rise legging. I would say at the most, like maybe low to mid, which if you wear them more on your hips, you are gonna get a little more lower tummy control. These do have a band at the top as well, and they're a very sleek performance material, so should be good for your cardio and all that. And they just have this one pocket on the side, which I think is kind of fun. They don't have it on this side. It's nice to just have the option on the one side at least. Here's the back. Because they don't go super high on me, they're a little low here, so I would prefer just a little higher, just personally. Overall, like you can't really see the seam too much anyway, so it's not a big deal. Should be pretty cellulite friendly with this bold pattern, and they're about a 7/8 length on me. They do have a front seam, but they also have an extended crotch gusset, so I'm not getting any camel problems. So in general, I would consider sizing down, but if you are smaller than a small, there's no option really for you to size down. But I was just drawn in by this cool print, so I wanted to try it. And the last brand is 11 by Venus Williams. You probably know who Venus Williams is, but she is a very famous women's tennis player. She also happens to be a Black woman, and she owns this brand. So first of all, she actually has a ton of stuff on the website. I'm surprised I've never heard of her brand before, or maybe I have heard of it, just didn't really dive into it. But anyways, I wanted to try kind of like a more basic piece, so I got this little like striped set. Since this was my first order, I was able to get 15% off. So make sure you like put in your email if you're gonna order from them, because they give you 15% off the first order. It is a little more on the pricier side, and I'm not sure if it's just the set that I got or if it's all of her sets, but I did notice that this was like 11 by Venus Williams in partnership with K-Swiss, and it does have like a K-Swiss logo on the back. So maybe I didn't get one of the designs that was like just hers, but you know, sometimes you gotta let other people help with the designs when you're busy, you know, just inspiring female athletes all over the world. Okay. So these are the racing stripe leggings in navy, and I did get a size small. These are made in the USA, actually. I had no idea. So they're a nylon spandex blend. I'm not sure if I knew this when I was ordering them, but they have a very unique texture. They're actually kind of like a waffle knit type texture without feeling too loungy. I feel like I've definitely seen this waffle type texture as like a loungewear item, but these are still very stretchy and I think definitely still appropriate for working out. But they're just kind of a basic legging. They do have a front and back seam. They have this white panel all the way down the side. It gives me very like varsity vibes in a way. My only thing is that they do have a seam at the top of the waistband and they definitely ran small. Like this waist is teeny tiny, so let's try it on. All right, so here are the leggings. I think they run a little bit small. You guys know I'm basically always a small in leggings and these are small and we can see that it is really cutting into my waist. It does have a top band, so that's part of the problem. But if we do like a little sit test situation, like I'm getting some severe cutting in, so I would totally size up. I can't speak to everything in her collection, but at least this style, definitely size up. And I think that's also contributing to some front seam issues. There is a front seam and I am getting a little bit of camel problems. I put in like a little panty liner so we could, you know, film and still have it be PG, you know. Everything else feels pretty good. It's still stretchy. I like the material. I think it's very interesting. Basically a full length for me. And I am liking the waistband compression, like up until this top band cuts in. Yeah, it's really cutting in. But nice high compression waist, medium compression overall. And since it's so dark, it should be pretty sweat friendly. And since it's textured, I also would expect a lot of cellulite friendliness. So just a little bit tight. And if you don't like bands at the top of your waistband, which I'm usually not a total fan of that, then I wouldn't go for these. And lastly, the Razor Tank Midi in navy. This kind of brings in that little side panel on the leggings, and it's just kind of your classic tank style sports bra. I wouldn't actually call it like a sports bra. It's more of a tank with a built-in bra, which I was very confused trying to get this bra on because I couldn't quite like line up where this was supposed to go. And it does have a shelf bra on the inside, but it's a very thin lining and it doesn't have any cup pads. So it's not gonna be the most supportive option in the world. It's made of the same waffle knit material. So let's try it on. All right, so here's the top. And I love when you have tops like this that you think are just like an actual crop top, but they actually have a built-in bra on the inside. I was a little surprised to find that there weren't any cup pads. So I feel like the support, it's honestly kind of like a light to medium. That's okay, you know, there's different levels of support. And the material of this is just so interesting. It's like a waffle knit that still has like a decent amount of stretch. Almost feels like it could have been a lounge material, but because it's so stretchy, definitely feel like it's workout friendly. Little racer back, total coverage on the front, a little bit of side boob, but shouldn't be at risk for spilling. And the elastic on the inside isn't super harsh either. And this part just kind of lays over your skin. So it's pretty comfy. I would have liked maybe a little bit more support and maybe some cup pads, but overall I think it's a pretty unique design and the fabric is really cool. Just a little update for the sake of transparency. So I tried to return the leggings and actually the bra because neither of them fit me very well. The leggings were very tight on the waist, so they're honestly unwearable to me. And when I was shopping the website, I noticed that a lot of their stuff was like final sale. So I intentionally chose an outfit to try that was not final sale because I was, you know, it's a new brand. I wanted to make sure it fit me, right? So then within 10 days of getting the item well within the return window, I tried to return them and it told me that I couldn't return them. It didn't tell me why. It just said these items are not eligible for return. And second of all, their customer service has been absolutely horrible. I have emailed them twice, once through the customer service portal on their website and once just like through their email. And I've called them and I have not gotten a single response and it's been like almost a month. So I really wanted to support this business, but I'm just really not having a good experience and it just really isn't seeming like they prioritize customer service. I've had to deal with customer service for a lot smaller of brands that have taken it a lot more seriously. So, all right guys, so that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Comment down below any of these brands if you've tried them before or if you've never heard of them and now you're interested in trying them out. And also make sure to comment any other minority owned activewear brands that I did not mention in this video, especially Asian owned activewear brands. I didn't really come across many when I was doing my research, so I would love to see some of those if you guys have seen those as well. If you're not already subscribed and you made it this far, please make sure to subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!